Hi guys, so can you solve this very controversial question? In fact, this is one of the most controversial questions I've seen online so far for a long time. Why? Because this question yields a lot of very wrong answers. A lot of very wrong answers. You can see here, when I posted it on Facebook that year, people were just giving different answers, very wrong answers. Now, how can we know the correct answer to this? How can we solve this properly? The reason why many people are getting the wrong answers is because they are not actually following the order of operation. The order of operation, they're not following PEMDAS or board mass. If we use board mass or PEMDAS, they are not following the order of operation. So for us to solve this question very well, we are going to strictly follow PEMDAS so as to arrive at the correct answer. Okay. So now let us solve the question. First of all, according to PEMDAS, it means we are going to simplify the parentheses first. So bracket, that's parentheses, we're going to do that first. So it means we are going to be simplifying this bracket first. So we're going to have 8 divided by, now negative 8 squared. That's one source of the controversy, negative 8 squared. What is it going to give us? Is it going to give us negative 64 or 64? Big controversy. Now, if you said that negative 8 squared gives you 64, then you are absolutely wrong. Yes, you're absolutely wrong. Why? Because this is against board mass or PEMDAS, against the order of operation. Now, if you have watched my previous video on board mass, you understand this better. Why? Because this minus here, okay, is a unary operator, serve as a unary operator, as a negation. And according to order of operation, you must do the exponent first before you do the subtraction. Either in form of a negation or subtraction, doesn't mean operation of power must come before operation of minus. So according to this PEMDAS, we are going to do the exponent first before the negation. So we're going to do this exponent first. It means the correct answer to this is negative 8 times 8. That's a negative 64. Another simpler explanation is that when you look at this square is affecting 8 alone. It has nothing to do with negation. Only 8 is squared. That is, the negative is not squared, but the number is what? Squared, multiplied twice. That's why it gives us negative 64. But if you go ahead to square the negation like this negative 8 squared here means both the negation and the number are what? Squared. So that means here you can have negative 8 times negative 8 squaring both negative and 8 gives us 64. Only then will 64 be correct. But as you can see, our question here is negative 8 squared, and it is not negative 8 all squared. So the answer to this is going to be what? Negative 64. We're not squaring this minus. Please avoid that error. So here we're going to have negative what? 64 all to the power of negative 1 over 2. Now before we continue again, I noticed another error in the answers I got, that people got rather. I noticed another error. What someone else did again was this. Did something like this, negative 8 squared to the power of negative 1 over 2. Someone did like something like this. 2 cancels 2. Then the person wrote 8, negative 8 all to the power of negative 1. And the person got that's 1 over negative 8. This is very wrong. Do you know why it is wrong? The reason why this is wrong is because it goes against the law of indices. Of course, it is not wrong for power to cancel roots. It's not wrong, okay? Power can cancel root, absolutely correct. But in this situation, it has gone against the law of indices. What is the law of indices? Don't forget that this power here is affecting both the minus and the number. So the power is not just for 8 alone, it's also for this minus. What I'm saying is you can rewrite this as negative 1 times 8 squared, negative 1 over 2. Of course, negative 1 times 8 squared gives us negative 8 squared. So this is like saying this. So this power should be squared equally to these two. Okay, you don't have to be selfish and give just this 8. This minus is also affected by this power. So if you were to do something like this, what you should do is you have to share the power for the 2. That is negative 1 all to the power of negative 1 over 2, then times 8 squared all to the power of negative 1 over 2. Only then can you say 2 cancels 2. without being selfish, because we have given you your right, you have taken your right. So here now you now have 1 over square root of negative 1, then times you now have 1 over 8. This will be absolutely what's correct, okay, following indices. Please don't let us make that mistake. This minus you are seeing is not a fraction, it's a it can also serve as a coefficient. So please don't make that mistake. Whatever you do for this, to this number, do it to the sign also. Okay, just assume it is negative 1. So let's move further. So continuing from here, what are we going to do next here? We're still going to be following PEMDAS because we are through with brackets, parentheses. The next thing to do is the word exponent. Yes, we don't have any business with this bracket again because in my previous video, again, I said that once a bracket can be simplified further, it serves as a multiplication. So this parenthesis here is no more a parenthesis, it is now a multiplication. So we have to do exponent before that multiplication. Don't make that error of dividing this. Some people made that error also. They said 8 divided by negative 64. Very, very wrong. You don't do division, you do exponent next. Are you following? You do exponent next. So we have to simplify this power next. So we're going to have here, don't forget, according to the law of indices here, we have a negative power. And negative power will be converted to 1 over, change to a fraction. So here we have 1 over negative 64 to the power of 1 over 2, right? So we are still with the power, simplifying the power. Now, according to law of indices also, when you have a fractional power, it stands for what? Roots. So the power of 1 over 2 here stands for square root of negative 64. So here we're going to have 8 divided by 1 over square root of negative 64. Now, we are not done with the exponent. We are still dealing with the exponent. So the next thing to do here is now to find the square root of negative 64. And don't forget, because this is a negative number, the square root of a negative number is always imaginary. Maybe that's why many people thought that the answer must be 64. Maybe they're not familiar with imaginary number. But this answer is going to be imaginary. Why? Because there is no real number that you can multiply 2 times to give you a negative number. It's not possible. Plus times plus cannot give you a negative number. Minus times minus can give you a negative number. So this will be imaginary. The answer to this will give us 8 divided by 1 over 8i. Yes, 8i. Now, let me simplify this further. Let me break it down. This 1 over square root of negative 64, right? We can split it and say square root of negative 1 times 64, like I've said there, okay? Then according to the rule of sword, we can split this and say square root of negative 1 times square root of 64, rule of sword. So here we now have 1 over square root of a negative number, don't forget, is imaginary, that's I, times square root of 64 is what? 8. Therefore, you're going to have 1 over 8i. So that's how we got this 1 over 8i. So from here now, it's very, very simple. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Very, very important. Even though you are learning something from here, please hit that subscribe button as a way of supporting me, and so you can learn more mathematical stuff like this. Thank you very much. So from here now is easy peasy actually, because by dividing here, when you want to divide, what do we do? Of course, we invert, change this one to times, and we invert 8i. So finally, our final answer will now have 8 times 8, 64i. This is the final answer to this. Any other answer you get aside from 64i is very, very wrong. Because if you get negative 1, 1, 64, any other number, it is wrong. You do not follow PEMDAS. Thank you very much for watching. If you learned something in this video, please subscribe to my channel, share, like, and comment on the video. Till I come your way next time. Bye-bye.